This is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom.
A week after Donald Trump won a second term in the White House, the contours of his new presidency have started taking shape.
Together we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny.
Donald Trump has made the first hires of his incoming administration. Some are being viewed favorably, some are being seen as unorthodox choices. But Trump's cabinet picks highlight what his priorities will be upon taking office in January 2025.
We obviously want secure borders.
Ever since election night, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has been a constant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago transition headquarters. He has been advising the president-elect on cabinet nominees and even joined a conversation between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
I'll tell you something, I don't follow the polls.
Trump announced that he was assigning Musk to work with tech entrepreneur and former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy in a Department of Government Efficiency. They have been tasked with identifying new budget cuts. Trump released a statement saying, and I quote, "Together, these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies, essential to the Save America movement." Musk's Political Action Committee spent around $200 million to help Trump's presidential campaign, and he promises to continue to fund the party's efforts to advance the president-elect's agenda and help Republican candidates in upcoming congressional elections. Donald Trump has identified his picks for two key positions that are likely to shape his administration's role in the Middle East over the next 4 years. He has recruited Mike Huckabee as the US ambassador to Israel and Stephen Witkoff as Middle East envoy. Huckabee, the former governor of Arkansas, has a track record of hardline, occasionally provocative, pro-Israel rhetoric. He has previously said, and I quote, "Basically, there is really no such thing as, I need to be careful about saying this because people will get really upset. There's really no such thing as a Palestinian." Huckabee also said Israel has a rightful claim to the West Bank. In 2018, he said he dreamed of building a holiday home in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Far less is known about Witkoff's policy positions when it comes to the Middle East. The 67-year-old Jewish real estate tycoon has no formal diplomatic or foreign policy experience. Trump has promised to maintain staunch support for Israel while swiftly ending its wars in Gaza and Lebanon. His first administration had an explicitly pro-Israel posture, and it's likely to continue in the second term. Trump is filling his foreign policy team with vocal China critics. Florida Senator Marco Rubio is the leading contender for Secretary of State. In 2020, Rubio was sanctioned by the Chinese government after he pushed measures to punish the nation for its crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. The president-elect picked Florida Congressman Mike Waltz as his national security advisor. Waltz has said the US is in a cold war with China and was one of the first members of Congress to call for the US to boycott the 2020 Beijing Winter Olympics. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, Trump's pick for the US ambassador to the UN, accused China of blatant and malicious election interference amid reports that China-backed hackers attempted to gather information from his phones. Throughout the campaign, Trump promised to carry out the biggest deportation exercise in America's history. His appointments confirm that he will stay true to his word. Tom Homan, former acting head of the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, will be joining his administration as a border czar. Trump said Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. Homan was the public face of Trump's zero-tolerance immigration policies during his first term, which broke with the practice of keeping families together during detention and deportation proceedings. As a result, thousands of undocumented migrant children were separated from family members, drawing widespread backlash. The president-elect has picked Stephen Miller to be the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. Miller served as a senior advisor to Trump and was his lead speechwriter during his first administration. He has been a leading advocate for a more restrictive immigration policy and is expected to take on an expanded role in Trump's second term. In 2016, as a political newcomer, Trump had to rely on more establishment Republicans for key roles. This time, he has a wealth of loyalists who he has rewarded and made the Republican establishment. Trump named Pete Hegseth, a Fox News anchor and outspoken supporter of the president-elect, for Secretary of Defense. Hegseth has a distinguished combat record and has done sterling work for veterans. But he lacks the decades of high-level strategic experience that presidents normally seek from those put in charge of the most powerful military in the world. Trump also named South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem for Secretary of Homeland Security. She doesn't have any experience in keeping the country safe or in anti-terrorism, cybersecurity, or customs and border enforcement. But she has spent years lionizing Trump on TV shows and is a rock star in the Make America Great movement.
To that point, you addressed one of
And America's covert operatives will soon be under the control of another Trump loyalist. Former acting director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, has now been tapped to lead the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA. Ratcliffe had faced previous accusations of weaponizing intelligence to boost Trump's political prospects.